Welcome, everyone, to the spring equinox ceremony. Spring equinox is actually tomorrow evening, if you're in the United States. It's the 19th at 10:04 Central Time, 11:04 Eastern. But we're doing it early because we need some ceremony, big time. So let's call in sacred space. Let's all take a breath. And then take another one. Just take a big breath and exhale and send your roots, send your grounding cord right from your tailbone all the way down, 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 down into the earth, connecting with that chakra below your feet and then going down to the core of mom, just letting her hold you and pull the weekend out of your body. And then inhale, draw that earth energy up through your body, send it up and out through the top of the head, connecting with the heart of the cosmos, way, way up to source energy. Call that source light down through your body, send it all the way down to the earth, activating that as above, so below flow. Feel that flow move through your body and connecting with that flow, breathing in and breathing out, activate the as within, so without. As the universe, so the soul. Moving to the north, we welcome Mother Earth. We give thanks to be here in the physical, doing physical stuffs, standing on our own 2 feet. Moving to the south, we welcome water. We welcome clear, clean current, emotion. We welcome love and flow and joy and abundance. Moving to the west, we welcome air and mind, focus, clarity, guidance, all of our angels, allies, and helpers. And moving to the east, we welcome fire and movement, passion, divine right action. Moving to the center, we call in our divine feminine and our divine masculine and sacred right relationship. We welcome that beautiful energy down into our bodies. We call up Mama Gaia to pull and magnetize that energy through us. We welcome our own sweet, extraordinary souls into the circle. We ask that all of these energies be with us, pray with us, dance with us for our mutual benefit. Aho. everyone. So feel into your body now. And it can be a mix right now. I want you to go in, close your eyes, drop into your heart, and really feel around in there a little bit. Just notice anything that's in there. Because the planets are lining for lots of support. And yet, notice what your body feels like. Because there's so much intensity out there as it's like we're crescendoing. And so it can feel like we may be pushing up against something. And I'll just share. It's like everything I ever say in all of these classes, in all of these little ceremonies, just multiply that by about 25 million right now, because that little crack of galactic light, it's not going away, it's not stopping, it's getting wider every day. And if there are things showing up in your life that are a little scratchy, a little edgy, all of the same experiences that we have, that we've been having for eons of time around the equinox, are still going to happen. Now they have a little spice. Now they have more light. So I'm going to just go over, for those of you that don't know or don't remember, what happens at the equinox. It says the sun enters Aries at 10:06 p.m. So this is the beginning of a solar year. And so at spring equinox, people in the North Pole is going to go straight into daylight. And in the north, the sun is going to come back. The northern hemisphere, this is spring for us. So things are going to start getting warmer. More light is going to start coming in for us. South Pole, people below the equator, going into darkness, and the rest of the, we'll go to, for 3 days in here, this will have close to equal times of light and dark. And then it's like the sun hits the equator right at the equinox. So then there's going to be more sun shining in the north than there is in the south. It's been in the southern hemisphere, so they've been experiencing spring and summer, and now they're moving into fall. So it's fall equinox for them, and it's spring equinox for those of us in the north. So what that means, like scientifically, geographically, however you want to look at it, practically speaking, when the sun gets this close to the equator, like right on it, that makes the electromagnetic field of the planet very thin. And the electromagnetic field of the planet is diminishing. And this always happens when we're at the end of a cycle. So even though it doesn't feel normal to us, it is a normal occurrence. So you may notice the sun feels brighter. You may not be able to look as close at it or near it, or you may feel like your sunglasses aren't working. It may feel like you're more sun sensitive. It just means there's more light out there. So you need to take it in small doses. What this means energetically for us is that there's also cracks in this veil. So when we talk about the veil, we talk about that electromagnetic field. That's what separates us from other dimensions. So when that field gets very thin, it's a potent time to focus your attention and set intentions. Things can happen really quickly, and there are a lot of things lining up for this to be a very, very, like, lots of the planets are supporting a lot of really good things for us. But for those of us that, you know, are living life and having experiences, we may have some scratchiness in the way. Now, what we're also building up to is this solar eclipse coming on the, not very far away, on the 8th of April, I believe. So there are a lot of things shifting and moving. So you could be a mix. When we are at a point like where we are right now, it's very potent. It can also feel very intense with this much light. So what we have to do is calm ourselves down, get grounded, and look at our options and really give ourselves some this is why I did this early. Give ourselves some extra time to feel into the energies and feel into ourselves and really assess where we are. So a good time once again to, we're still, that black hole that birthed all of us is still directly above us. So we can still access that dark mother wisdom and utilize the light, all of the light, the galactic light, the sun's light that's going to be streaming in to really get some really good guidance and set some potent intentions for the future. So Sun enters Aries tomorrow evening at 10:06 p.m. Central Time, 11 Eastern, and then you can check on your time. Now, what this means for us now, these intentions aren't just like our weekly month or, every 2 weeks intentions. These are for the next 3 months. So this is going to influence us until summer solstice, and then we'll have a chance to regroup and do again. So this is about seeds you're planting. Is there anything new you want to start? Is there anything that you want to initiate for yourself, for your family, going forward? What do you want to grow? So let's talk about what's out there helping us. All the planets are still direct, which means full steam ahead. We still have tons of support. Nobody's in retrograde. Now, this Sun-Neptune conjunction has already happened. It happened, I think, a couple of days ago. So it's going to put us in this kind of really spiritual place, with the sun shining through Neptune and the sun, well, it's conjunct Neptune. It's shining through Pisces. It's still in Pisces. So it's like all of that is Neptune energy. It's all spiritual, heartfelt, big love kind of energy. So it empowers spiritual awakening, unconditional love, living consistently in alignment with your heart and with your soul. So it's good for dreaming and for dreaming in the future. Now, that's leading up to 2 days, the sun moves into Aries. So then it's full steam ahead. Aries is like, just do it. Let's get her done. It's the initiator of the new season. So there's also a triple conjunction with Mercury, Chiron, and the North Node, and that's going to encourage us to learn more. You may find yourself, I know that Gaia just did this big thing and everybody's watching it. So there's lots of opportunities to take in information, and you may feel yourself drawn to those kinds of things, learning with purpose, learning with things that are aligned with your purpose. But everything in Aries is going to be like, okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's push forward and begin. So you can take, bold action. Just jump in and do. There's also a lot of support for relationships. And this is one, but then there's others that we'll talk about. There's a Venus-Saturn conjunction. So in addition to being serious, Saturn can also reveal any structural weaknesses around your relationships. If there are challenges, and there's another bigger knot that we're going to untie. This is just kind of shining on it. But as you're looking at your relationships, and I know for some people, the month of March has been very, very difficult when it comes to relation. It's kind of like either you're way in or you're way out. And there's been lots of opportunities for growth is a good way to put that. So it's going to require you to be real and to determine, to own your stuff and your partner to own their stuff in case there are things that both of you need to upgrade. If you think that there's physical, it's like you want to find a balance between doing practical things on the physical realm and sitting and meditating and getting guidance first. So with Saturn in Pisces, Saturn's going to be softer, and it's going to give you some really good energy for meditation work and blending. So Saturn is always about practically working on the physical plane, but it's not going to feel so serious. It can actually work with Venus to heal relationships and give you practical help. So when if this is you and you're sitting in something like this, then call out to these planets and ask them for help, because they're here to support you. Now, I didn't know any other way to do this other than to just do it this way. Oh, there's more, Carolyn. There's so much more. So this one always scares me, even though it can be really, really great. Jupiter is in what a conjunction is they're just like smacked up together, just right on top of each other. Jupiter and Uranus. Yippee. And it's like they're just like moving closer and closer and closer till the 20th of April. They're going to be smack on top of each other. This is the strongest influence because Jupiter's the biggest planet. And, Jupiter just out there playing and having fun. So it can go either way. So, and how do I put this? This is spring. This is like in where I live, this is tornado season. And it's one of the, it's like when you're in tornado season, it could be a beautiful sunny day, and then all of a sudden there's clouds, and all of a sudden you're in a storm and you weren't expecting it. That's what's going on here. So the best, and it's not just your personal life, it's global, right? So we want to really use our energy to focus on all the positive things that can happen as you're setting your intentions, as you're looking to the future. Make no mistake, that light is going to shine through your trauma. It doesn't mean you're having a bad day and the stars are against you. It means go in there, find out what that is, clear it out, and then focus on the positive. So positive outcomes, dramatic breakthroughs, and quantum leaps. So it's like Jupiter and Uranus go, it's Christmas in March, and you get a big surprise. That's exactly the kind of energy that this can build. Rebirth, awakening, surprise resolution of problems, expanded horizon, changes of fortune or philosophy, incurable infectious optimism. Yeah, to the point of annoyance. So all of those good things, like the eureka moment, the light at the end of the tunnel, everything is coming around vibrantly alive for you. Freedom for all, maximum liberation, flashes of greatness, all of that, right? That's what we have to keep our sights on, no matter what's going on inside of us, no matter what we see out picturing around us. We have to stay here. Because here's the other, and I'm not going to list them all, but you can see them. It's like the worst of the worst in an explosive form. People can get really into their ego and get self-inflated and self-righteous and all kinds of things. And it's like taking it and multiplying it by 50. Because that can happen with Uranus anyway. But with Jupiter, all Jupiter's doing is just making it bigger, making it bigger. So once again, use the energy to your advantage and to the advantage of the planet and your families and all of that. It's like hold positive outcomes always. And then finally, this is the other relationship piece. And so know that all of these are blended together. So everything we talked about at the beginning, plus all of that Uranus stuff, and Jupiter, it all applies here as well. So this is the last big significant astrological influence of this equinox. So you got those two relationship planets, Venus and Ceres, or excuse me, well, actually Venus, Ceres, and Juno. So there's actually three of them all together. And Ceres also adds the themes of harvest and abundance. Jupiter contributes expansion, good luck, and joy. And Saturn brings us all down to earth, helping you establish an enduring structure to support your connection. So you can see how all of those, it's like, even though this month has been kind of crazy, chaotic, felt bumpy, it's all going to get to the point where no matter what kind of partnership you're in, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be any relationship. It's all going to work itself out in the end. And so we're all going to be able to come back to, let's get along. Let's do the practical things that are going to help us have a good outcome. Now, that might not be true for every relationship, especially if you're in a relationship that's run its course. It's like, it might be that some relationships need to dissolve or they need to change form. So if that is the truth and you fight that, that's where all the pain and suffering can show up. So, for instance, Ceres could bring up old traumas. Saturn could create obstacles that bring relevant difficulties front and center. You've probably already had some of those experiences. And then any of that, Jupiter's just going to make it bigger. So, fundamentally, this is harmonious. But if it feels like you're beating your head against a wall in any situation, you are. And it's time to go back and look and go, okay, what do we need to tweak? Is this really a viable relationship, or should we make some different choices? And what can we heal? And how can this be a healing situation for everyone involved? So that's a lot. So I'm going to give you a little time with these questions, and then we're going to let the elements talk to us a little bit. There's another question down here. With all of that in mind, what do you want to plant in the new seed bed of creation? So consider all of these things and then that's the overall arching question. What is it that you want to initiate now? And you don't have to get all the answers today. That's why we did it early. But this is going to get the juices flowing. All right. Is there anything you want to plant? Be pondering that question as we move into conversations with the elements. So for the earth door, this makes perfect sense, right? Sustainable planning for the future. One of the huge things we learn from the physical world is the right use of our resources. Let that land. If you squander it too much, it goes away, right? And that's what we're seeing. We've been given so many wonderful gifts. There are sustainable, practical ways to use them and have plenty, both for those of us here now and for the generations in the future. However, the pace of our society, materialism, capitalism, and many other isms have caused the resources of this planet to dwindle, and notice how the quality of our lives have diminished in the process. So apparently now, here in the spring of 2024, it's time to rethink how we use our resources and how we can plan for the future in a way that works for our children and our children's children. In your personal world, where do you need to rethink your sustainable future? Your money, your business, perhaps. Is the quality of life you're living now actually going to be sustainable in the future? Is the pace you're working now actually going to be sustainable in the future? So take a moment as you're getting ready to plant all those seeds of the spring. How can you begin to rethink and plan sustainably? Put us up at the top. So clear, clean, and current. I can't even, it's like, to me, this seems like the perfect card. It's like, what do we do in the spring? It's time for spring cleaning. It's time to clean out the closets. It's time to clean out our inner closets too. So clear, clean, and current is the definition of water's job with our emotions. It helps everything about emotional healing make sense. Water is the element that behaves like our emotions, or rather, our emotions behave like water. In its purest, most delightful form, it is clear. Clear water flows and sparkles and reflects and magnetizes all the beautiful things we love about water. When our emotions are clear, we feel good, we're happy, there's flow and light in our lives. Clean water is life-giving water and life-affirming water. Likewise, when our emotions are clean, we have more energy and more light to share with others. The current of the water carries it to its destination. Likewise, if we have all of our emotions current, meaning we don't have any attachments to stories of the past, our life can flow to its highest and best destination with efficiency and grace. So, any place where we feel a little agitated or where things don't feel quite right, it's not, it's like that is a call from our emotional waters to pay attention and just, rather than look away and go, grab some chocolate or some ice cream or just ignore the feeling till it goes away, let it go back underneath. No, if it's there, pull it out and look at it and just, what is this? Why is it here? Who do I need to forgive? What do I need to let go of? That is water's job. That's our emotions job. When that stuff rises to the surface, it's not to be ignored. It's so that we can clear it and heal our hearts, because then our life can flow to its highest and best destination with efficiency and grace. So, are there any places where you need to get your emotional waters clear, clean, and current? And I would advise you doing that before you dive into all those intentions. You have time. And then air, of course, how perfect. Intention. Once we decide what's sustainable and once we get our emotions in order, then we can use the tool of intention to drive the car of creation. We can literally focus our actions and behaviors by directing ourselves toward our desired outcome through intention. Even though words are the most common way that we state our intention, our actions are also ways that we speak to the universe. So it's one thing to say, I'm going to eat healthy. It's another thing to make healthy choices. And so if we send the universe mixed messages, the universe doesn't know what to give us. So, yes, we have to be, those saying, writing those intentions, simple, positively stated, forward moving, direct, and to the point. They're not goals, though. Intentions are, I am going to do this by this time. A goal is, I'm going to, my goal is to live in a healthy body. It's like, it's very broad and futuristic, but it's not direct. Intentions are direct. So you could say something like, I intend to walk every day and release sugar in order to lose 20 pounds. And then let yourself do that so that your actions are in alignment with what you say you want to do. So as you're getting ready to plan for the spring and use all this good supportive energy to create good things, are there places where you need to get clear on your intention? And then once we've got all of our ducks in a row in those departments, this is what we need to do. Energize. It's like fire is pure energy and motion, and it can bring energy and life force to anything. So when you get everything lined up, it's time to strike the match. Um, this is where we get the phrase, light a fire under them. Fire can literally cause anything to move and move quickly. So think about in your life, where are there places that are sluggish? Where do you need, what needs to be energized? Where do you need more energy to move you forward? And how can fire help you energize your creations? Where do you need more movement? So ask fire to help you energize your actions to move your projects forward. So like I said, we have lots of support right now. Okay. And then with spirit, as above, so below, as within, so without. Um, when we speak of the realm of spirit, we speak to the unseen, the force of consciousness that we cannot totally know, although we can get pretty close. Sometimes referred to as ether, this realm can be understood as an unseen substance that thinks. I always think of this as the goddess. We can impress thoughts into this substance, and it creates from that information. So when we consider as above, so below, we're speaking of the idea that that is ever happening in our own unseen realm, the mind. So whatever we're thinking about is happening, is out picturing in our world, in our below. So the above is showing up all around us. Same, whatever we hold inside ourselves is going to outpicture outside of us. Um, it's a natural law. There's nothing we can do to change that. And whether you believe it or not, doesn't make it any less true. So eventually, the more we can begin to own whatever is happening around us, good or bad, and say, okay, I drew that to me. Why? And what am I supposed to learn from it? And if it's not the most comfortable experience for me, what kind of adjustments do I need to make? That's how you own it. So when we look around at our lives, look through a different lens. When something when you see something in your world you don't want, ask yourself, what are you holding in your mind and your heart that's causing it to show up in your outside world? Is it time to make an adjustment in your as above and as within so you can see a difference in your so below and so without? So just check in and see if there's any place where you need to make that adjustment. And then when you're ready, go ahead and set an intention for the spring equinox and this moon cycle. I guess this really isn't, there isn't a moon cycle with this one because we're not. There isn't a new, let's see, when is the full moon is on the 25th, so we have a whole nother week before that happens. Yeah, for this season. Perfect. So there is still time, but the clock is ticking. If you all want to do this and you're just waiting, don't wait. I've got to send you a deck of cards. So we have to allow for mail time. So light infusion is happening this weekend. And if you want to be a part of that, jump in. All right. We are going to activate all of those intentions that you are busily writing. So let's get up and move. Here we go. Happy spring, everyone.
Thanks, Kathy.
We'll see you all very soon, probably next week at the full moon.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're so welcome. So welcome. I'm going to have to stop the share so we can do our thing.